Hey, what's up, guys? This is Gerardo Morillo, and today we're going to be talking about can you escape the program world? What is the program world? The program world is everything external, everything around you that has its own sets of rules, laws, and when you're in there, you have to follow their rules and laws. So, for example, one great example of the program world is the job environment. The job environment is essentially you fill in a certain role for a certain amount of income. So you are the slave to the master. The master is paying you a certain amount of money so that you can be what they want you to be. They're basically bossing you around, telling you what to do so that you make a certain amount of income levels. And that's a great metaphor for the program world. It goes even deeper than that, though. The program world, we can use another metaphor for the program world, such as it's all like a factory production. This whole world is like orchestrated around creating some sort of idea, producing the idea, hiring the people who is going to produce and create, pay them a certain amount of dollars so that a certain outcome is achieved. What's important to understand here is that people are all trying to promote a certain agenda. Everyone has their own idea of what they think is correct or what they think is wrong. And to a big degree, you can actually trust the flow of the universe. You can trust the flow of life because life is trying to expand. Life is trying to also do the right thing. Life is to a big degree. Once you tap into the flow, you can trust life. You can trust that the universe is all good. It's all there. It's all trying to improve the betterment of the ecosystem of society. So it's not to say that you need to be afraid of the program world per se, but just know that the program world does exist. And you also gotta think about it. Is this something that you want to be a part of as well? Me personally, I don't like the program world because they have a lot of things that I guess you can say conflict with who I am as a person, conflict with me as a free thinker. I'm a free thinker. I guess you can call me as a rebel to some degree. I've always been kind of rebellious to the way that the world that the way that the world operates in. However, you also understand that human beings are also animalistic in nature. So then there's this one big quote that kind of strikes to mind is this resistance is futile, which means that sometimes you just must go with the flow. Stop fighting everything. Stop resisting everything. Accept it and let life. Let it be. Learn the lessons. But sometimes you also want to go your own way. I don't want to go too deep into that because that's another topic in of itself. But just know that sometimes you have to go against the program world, and sometimes you just need to, hey, follow along with the protocols, move up on the social ladder, right? Because the more that you obey your masters, the more income levels you get, the more levels that you climb up. Me personally, I'm at a point where I cannot take the program world no more. I can't take the social games no more. To hang out with me, you gotta be someone who's above the game. And the funny thing is about people who I hang out with that are above the game, we still do the same thing. We still talk, we still have fun, we talk about life. Sometimes we turn on the TV, sometimes we turn on and play the video games. But the difference is the atmosphere is much more relaxed. It's more peaceful. We can talk about anything. We can talk about deep stuff. Stuff that I normally can't talk to about to anybody. Because most of the time when I'm talking to people who are still stuck in the program reality, the program world, I have to talk really basic stuff with them because they're not quite there yet. Like very like baby stuff. And it's not to insult them or to downgrade them or anything. It's just to say that that level of consciousness has not rise up yet. They have not read enough books. Me, I've been online since I was like 5, no, since I was 8 years old, and I was always researching, always research. So I'm at a point where I have a plethora amount of knowledge that I've never really shared because right now I'm like I'm new to YouTube, kind of you could say, but I've answered a lot of things in my lifetime that I already know the answers to. I just never made a video about it. But now that I'm here, I'm like, oh wow, I can make money on YouTube. But more importantly, I can escape the program world. It's not so much about making money on YouTube, although that's what, I do need that. But it's more, well, the more important thing is I can escape the program world and live life the way I desire. However, one needs to understand that there is no escaping the program world. Freedom is quite a bit of an illusion as well, but you can choose what you want once you have everything in place, the core ingredients that you need to become free, to be happy. Yes, then you can escape the program world in that degree. But understand that there is no escaping the program world. Even when you're above the game, your human body still is in the flesh, is still in the earth. So even transcended masters, we still live on the earth and we still play the social game. Because as a transcendent master or ascended master, it's like, you're still on the planet. So you're still living with other people who are stuck in the game. So your role as a transcendent master is to help people wake up, evolve their consciousness, help them to grow, help them to learn, help them to realize that everything's pointless, but not that it's just is pointless, but also help them realize that they can transcend ordinary consciousness. They can go higher, they can improve by learning truths, by learning spiritual laws, by reading really good books from other spiritual teachers and other spiritual masters, or go on YouTube who have other spiritual masters that teach high level concepts to you in a way that you can understand, which will update you in consciousness. And that's essentially what the world is about. The higher consciousness people, they teach the lower conscious people. The lower conscious people, they rise up at some point, and when they rise up, they teach the lower consciousness people. That's how it is. That's how society operates. And so this is not about this kind of egotistical thing of I'm better than you, you're better than me. It's simply about rising up in consciousness and helping the world become a better place. That's what it is about. It's kind of like remove the ego but leverage the ego. Okay? You will never remove the ego. The ego's there. And I'm very careful with that too. Because maybe at higher levels, the whole point is that you let the ego die. And when the ego dies, you can express your soul. But that's just a theory. What I'm trying to say, like in practical terms, the ego is always there. The ego wants to climb up in social status. The ego wants to climb up in the social ladder so this way that the ego can get more social respect, social benefits, make getting sex easier. Okay, so it really encompasses a lot of things. The ego is essentially trying to help you improve the quality of your life. As funny as it sounds, it really is. However, it's very extremely outdated because today the ego gets very offended, and this is something that's easily tested. Listen, there's billions of people out there. There's a lot of people who can be better than you. There's a lot of people who can be worse than you. So people get really offended when someone is better than them at something. In fact, it's actually quite dangerous to be someone who is superior than most people because people get offended. I've been through a lot of things in my lifetime where people, like me just standing there, is a threat to people's existence, and I'm not even saying anything. It's almost like they can just sense it. Just me being there is a threat to their sense of ego. I don't know why. Like sometimes I don't even say anything and they just feel threatened by me. It's almost like I contradict their whole kind of sense of being. This is something that I'm still trying to like understand myself. Like what? It's like, can they just sense it? Like I'm a superior animal to them? And there's like four quadrants here, or maybe even more. But let's keep it simple. There's animals, there's humans 2.0, and then there is godlike, where you completely have Jesus consciousness. Right now I'm at human 2.0, but my level of awareness, my level of insight is fantastic for someone who is at 26 years old. That's because I was always seeking enlightenment. I was always seeking spirituality. I was always learning about magic. I met George Hutton and he made the whole process a lot easier for me. So I'm very thankful for George. But even before I met George, I was studying everything. I was on website, up to website forums everywhere, trying to understand everything, trying to understand life. So back to talking about the escaping the program world. Unless you go live in a cave, you can never escape the program world. The program world is still there, whether you are enlightened or whether or not you're not enlightened. The program world is still there, and we still play the same games. I have people that I know, spiritual mentors, very extremely powerful spiritual people, more powerful than myself, more knowledgeable than myself. Now, that's not to say that we don't have like how do I say this? There's certain things that I know that hey, I know more than this person, but he's still spiritually more stronger than I am. So it's like I'm here and he's here, but I know certain things that he doesn't know. But I can kind of just sense. It's one of those things in the spiritual world. You can kind of just sense when someone's higher than you, and that talking stuff, that persuasion stuff, is not really required because you can just sense it. You can immediately just sense it when someone is at a higher level than you spirituality. When I first met this spiritual guy, we clicked off pretty well. And I could tell there was something really powerful about this guy. Like there was an electrical force field when I first met him. A strong electrical magnetism. And I knew that he was higher level than myself. And I knew that I needed to humble myself when I talked to him. And out of respect, I don't think anything bad about him. I never say anything bad about him out of respect. Because this guy is extremely powerful as a spiritual teacher, as a spiritual mentor. The things he knows is incredibly powerful. And we're good friends. And I trust him that he's not going to do anything to me. But I know that, hey man, if I do something disrespectful to him, like, there's punishment. But he's not that type of person. Because it's one of those things when you get spiritual that you just know. It's more intuitive. It's less logical and it's more intuitive. All right, back to the program world. You can never really escape the program world. The program world is still there. No matter how high your spirituality you get, the program world is still there. Okay? You still do the same things. You're still going through the same experience. The only difference is that your level of awareness is much greater than the level of the common human beings. And what that essentially means is that you learn how to self-regulate. The average human being does not think. And that is actually really funny when you think about it. They don't think. What it means to become self-aware is that you learn to identify all these problems, all of these issues, and you started thinking, okay, what is this? How do I fix this? Like with me personally, I can feel when my ego is there. I can feel certain physiological symptoms, and then I ask myself, okay, how do I fix that? How do I undo that? And that's what it means to become aware. When you become a master of your own mind and body system versus letting the body control you around. Because animals rely solely on instincts. Animals cannot think. Animals cannot think past a certain level. So when you are spiritual and you are aware, you can see what's going on around you and then you can assess what is the best move to do based upon your current state or your thought process or whether that be the emotions that you're in. Another thing I want to talk about with escaping the program world is you cannot escape the program world. The program world is always there. Unless you live in a cave, away from society at large, the program world is still there. Unless you meditate for 3, 5 years in a cave, you you cannot escape the program world. Now, here's what's also funny. Even if you're in a cave, your mind is still shifting, it's still evolving. And what that means is essentially is that you're still getting programmed, you could say. Now, program is probably not the best appropriate word for it. Every single breath we take, every single thought we take is changing a part of ourselves, a part of our thinking process, our consciousness. There's been rumors that our body is never the same after 6 months. Our body completely changes a lot in 6 months. So this means that we're not even the same person. In 6 months, we're not even the same person because we completely change our cells and biology, which means that we are always changing and that there is no real you because your real you is always changing, it's always improving. However, this gets even more complicated because I do believe that there is a sense of who we are is kind of like somewhere in here. Our true self is somewhere down deep in here, and we need to kind of bring it out. Learn to bring that out. And I feel like that's ultimately the purpose of every single human being is to learn to bring out their essence, to bring out the truth of who they are. However, we can also say that the real you is always changing anyways. And I agree with that. It's just that I also think that there's still that kind of part of you that's deep down that's like it's like calling, it's pushing, it's always seeking for more because it wants to better itself, it wants to grow itself, and it wants to share itself, and it wants to be itself. Very similar to how the animals are. The animals just act accordingly. They act however way they act. They behave the way they act, and they're fully congruent with who they are. You don't see the animals complaining about anything. They're just chilling, enjoying life. They look a little bored, but they're not self-sabotaging. They're not complaining. They're just living life. And I think that at some point that's kind of how we need to be as well, but still be at a higher consciousness too. So it's that kind of mixing. It's kind of that balance essentially. Another thing I want to add to this video It's 20 minutes long. I didn't want to make this video 20 minutes long, but I have a lot to say about this topic. This is going to be the last thing I say here. You cannot escape the program world. You can choose the people who you allow in your life. You can choose the influencers you allow. Alright? Most people in the mainstream, they're getting influenced by Lil Wayne, Nicki Minaj, and all these other programmers. They don't know anything about that lifestyle. They don't know anything about that culture. And they're getting programmed by those people, which means that they're learning from those people how to act in those ways, which is typically ghetto in nature. Now, here's the thing is they portray that sort of personality and persona, but once they're done playing the performance, they don't even know if that's who they really are. So they play an act, and people are like, hey, I want to be like that. I want to be like Nicki Minaj or Lil Wayne. But outside of the work, is that who they really are? And no one really knows that. They could just be playing a role, they could just be playing a part. Anyways, the point is to find people that are great influences in your life that you can trust to help you expand on your consciousness, expand on your awareness. There is no escaping the program world, but you just have to choose who you allow and who you accept. And then certain influencers, you have to reject them. You can say, okay, these people are not helping you expand. These people are not helping you grow. So unsubscribe from their YouTube videos, block them, whatever, ignore them. Choose the people in your life that are feeding you in the right way, who are feeding you in your consciousness, helping you expand, helping you grow, helping you to level up in awareness and in wisdom. This has been Gerardo Morillo, founder of ProsperityLifeHacks.com. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you like my work, check me out on ProsperityLifeHacks.com. I talk about enlightenment, I talk about spirituality, I talk about hypnosis, I talk about kundalini, I talk about alpha male, I talk about sexuality, I talk about every single topic imaginable. I am a enlightened person, you could say, and I'm a spiritual teacher, and I talk about many sorts of spiritual topics. No matter how good or dark it is, we talk about the essence of human nature. If this sounds interesting to you, please visit me at ProsperityLifeHacks.com. Check out the highly recommended resources down below. I have dominated the online business game there, completely free. Just click the link. You'll learn how to create your own business and how to make money online, and also how to the money strategies, the social strategies to help you improve your success, as well as other resources down below that will assist you in improving all areas of your life. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Gerardo Morillo. Until next time.